Back on Inside Tennessee with two candidates who would like to represent the city of Knoxville. Again, this is an at-large seat. John?
Candidates, first a reminder, August 29 is the primary for the race that you all are in. I did want to ask you, if you are on council, what do you spend less on? In other words, are you dissatisfied with some of the priorities that have been sort of executed so far by City Council and the Mayor? Ms. Helsley, I'll start with you.
I don't have any specifics. I just think everything that's in there, somebody wants it. You know, it's not, I mean, I could say, well, I don't think money should go to that, but somebody, it pleased someone. So there's a reason everything's in the budget.
Are you
so
satisfied that public safety is getting as much as it needs? Because that is usually one of the first things that a candidate will say is, got to make sure police and fire have lots of money.
I think they're doing okay. Now, I'm sure they would say they needed more money, but it seems to like it. They're short on officers, but you know, good luck with that because people don't really want to come to work as a police officer, so it's hard.
Mr. Marlow, you maybe more than any of us at this table see incidents where the police have to come. I'm curious, one, are you satisfied with police service? And do you think there's something where maybe council or the mayor have overspent and need to sort of shift a priority?
I'm not so sure that we're overspending. If anything, I think we're underspending, particularly on our police officers and our firefighters. We're having a serious recruitment problem. And I was a very vocal supporter of Mayor Kincannon's push for a tax increase. That hit my bottom line pretty significantly because that tax increase was fairly large in and of itself, and property values have gone incredibly high. So that double calamity, yet I still advocated at public forum that it should happen because I understand we have to pay for the services that we want. And police is a very important service. It's a very necessary service. I've had a house burn and I had the fire department, fortunately Fire Hall 5's right there in my backyard, and they do a terrific job and they need to be paid enough so that they want to be officers, they want to be firemen, and we need to pay them enough so they stay. Talking to Chief Wilbanks, a lot of our fire department officers are leaving. They get the training from us and then they jump over to the labs or to some federal program. Do you know how much we lose in training costs? Like, we need to stop that bleeding. And if that takes some incentives, if that takes pay, if that takes better outreach and recruiting, we need to be funding that.
Are you able to get a cop to show up when you need him or her? I've read something that suggests maybe you have felt like there have been times when the police didn't respond to your needs.
In the past, there have been many of those times. For example, as I got home last night from City Council, and that meeting went late, it was probably 9:30, 9:45 by the time I got home. I came home, and across the street in a KCDC duplex, there was a domestic dispute. And just as I locked my door, there was 5 to 6 gunshots go off. I dialed 911, and before I could begin opening my mail, officers started arriving. And I think that's incredibly fast, and it wasn't just one. There was at least 2 cruisers. They came to my door when nobody was at the site. I gave them more information. They went back, and then they came back to get my identification information because they recovered 2 guns that nobody wanted to take possession or ownership of and found 5 or 6 shell casings. Tremendous and excellent job by the police last night.
The question for Debbie, you mentioned you live in South Knoxville, grew up in South Knoxville, which is South Knoxville's become sort of the cool place to be now. And a lot of it is because of the greenways that have happened there, and legacy parks, and full disclosure, John and I served on the board there.
Good for you.
But it has really grown dramatically, and I know one of your campaign issues is talking about creating more green space. Are you pleased with what's happening there? And I guess what would be the one thing you would love to see in South Knoxville? And then I'll ask you what you would like to see in Mechanicsville, but that's not there now.
I love South Knoxville. I think it's amazing, and I love the young people who have moved there because there's like millennials everywhere. Like, they're biking and they're just everybody's having a big time. I think the green space I think we need to look at is the urban forest, the tree plan for urban heat deserts, because in South Knoxville has been radically hit by storms. I mean, like, my house got literally almost blown away in that one 11 years ago. So we have lost, I think they told me at Trees Knoxville we were 138% down on tree canopy in South Knoxville. So that in urban areas you need tree canopy. So it'd be helpful.
Bentley, what would you like to see in Mechanicsville?
In Mechanicsville, I would like to see more businesses. I'd like to see more of a commercial corridor along 5th and University. I'd like to see cottage courtyard style developments, bringing smaller homes and tighter configurations on some of the smaller lots so that we could increase our housing stock. I'd like to see stuff like that all over the city. The way to pay for more services without raising the tax base is to develop, because that grows the tax base, which is why I'm very excited about the stadium, because with all of the investment that's going to come around the stadium, we will expand our tax base, which will then help us pay for the services and the outreach to help homelessness, to help with police and fire and public safety, and expand our parks and our tree canopy. It all comes down to development and expanding our tax base.
Got about a minute left, Dennis.
What do either one of you think about the great University of Tennessee coming up with this harebrained idea? We're going to move Cumberland Avenue to around the stadium. So 8 football games a year, and we're going to pour all this money into developing what? More fast food restaurants? I mean, you guys are going to be in charge of that. Tell me about it. What are you going to do?
I'm not a fan, but then again, all I hear is everybody in South Knoxville want the pedestrian bridge too, but nobody does. But we don't get a choice apparently, right? Nobody asked.
You don't like it?
Nobody over there really. I know one person that wants it, and it's somebody who lives really close, and nobody else. There's just like, why are we doing? I think they just feel like UT's coming across the river with that bridge.
And how about you, Mr. Marlow?
I support the bridge. I think it's going to connect South Knoxville. It's going to allow opportunities for growth and development. I'm somewhat excited about what little I know about the UT plans, but a hotel and an entertainment district right there by the stadium, I think that will help just foster that sports vibe and community. Our UT volunteers, I'm a proud alumni. Our sports teams are back. We're back in national prominence. Baseball, basketball, ladies basketball, and football. Let's go with this.
These are the same people that hired Derek Dooley. Okay?
Francis, we're going to have to leave it there.
Sorry.
They're going to love you. You're going to get some Christmas cards.
You didn't have to resurrect him.
And Dave Hart.
We'll be back with our talk around. Thank you both. Good luck to you both.
Thank you.
Those orange breeches.